There we go.
Good. Okay. Are we ready to get started? Y'all set? Does anybody need to go get food before we start?
Yes, we're ready.
We're ready? Okay. All righty. Today, as you can see, we're going to talk about what is my food. And today we're going to do audience participation. That's why all those boxes are passed around. So, okay, what makes a healthy body? Obviously, a balanced diet makes a big difference. And our food is made up of carbohydrate, protein, and fat. So, this is the basics here. You need to know what you're eating to know if it's balanced, because obviously everybody's eating, and until we stop and think about it, and some people have really had aha moments already in this journey, and so that's been fun to watch. Do y'all have handouts? Oh, here are a few more.
Thank you.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. You can.
Okay. So, what do you do? What do you need in order to know what you're eating? There are a couple of websites that you can go to. MyFitnessPal and Foodjucate are two. They're not up there, but MyFitnessPal, and several of you are using that one, and Foodjucate, F-U-D-G-U-C-A-T-E, is another one, and both of them will tell you exactly what you're eating, how much carb, how much protein, how much fat, and Foodjucate gives you more information about the health of the other stuff that's in the food. So it goes into a little bit more detail. So it just depends upon how much detail you want. But be sure that you're looking at the label, and we're going to go into that obviously today. So, steps to food identification. Obviously, serving size is very important. I was really surprised when I got one of those little boxes of cereal in the mail and poured it in my cereal bowl and went, oh, I've been making my serving sizes a whole lot bigger than that because it didn't fill up my bowl. So, if you alter the size of plate or bowl you're using to actually fit the serving size, it makes a big difference. So, be sure that you may want to measure your food periodically. Pull out your measuring cups. What is half a cup? What does it look like on your plate? Obviously, we know a slice of bread is a slice of bread, but that can even be tricky because there are some that are thin slices or smaller slices that are half as many calories as a bigger piece of bread. So it's not always apples to apples, even in a slice of bread. So be sure you look at serving size, number of servings in the package. How many people think that a 20-ounce bottle of, say, Gatorade is one serving? Well, on soft drinks, it has two numbers on it because that is considered actually 2.5 servings. And so it's very misleading when you see the calories unless you look at it for the whole bottle rather than just for a serving size. Because obviously it's going to be 2.5 times what you're figuring if you're just going by the calorie count for serving size. So be sure that you're reading exactly what you're taking in. The number of calories, the total fat, carbohydrate, and protein. So, now what is the biggest number? We're going to go through that here in a minute, but your monthly challenge the next month will be to identify what foods you are eating. And I will email you the list, and it will have carbohydrate, protein, and fat. And you will read your labels, and you will see what is the biggest number. So if it's a sandwich, it may be the carbohydrate. And of course, some of these foods are not going to have labels, but you can write down how much carbs with your 2 pieces of bread. You can write down how much protein is in it from how much meat you have on it, and then if there is any fat, if you're putting mayonnaise or there's something in the spread or some sort of dressing on that sandwich, then put how much fat as closely as you can. And then you will add that up at the end of the day. And if you use MyFitnessPal or Fooducate, they will do that for you. So it's an easy way to keep track of it. Really a lot easier than writing it out longhand every time. So obviously we gain awareness of what we're eating by writing these down. So balance is the goal. We want you to have all three, carbohydrate, protein, and fat. And if you do all fat-free, as you cut down the calories from fat, yes, it's important to eat healthy fats, but if you cut out fat completely, you're going to get hungry a lot faster. The satiety value is important when we have fat in our diet. It does help keep us full for a longer period of time, which is a good thing. So that's why we want to choose healthy fats. So peanut butter, almond butter, avocados, those are good healthy fats. And we were talking earlier about how yummy avocados are on a sandwich. So that is a way to include a healthy fat in your sandwich. Okay. Obviously, we're not going to read this label because it's way too small. We will read the ones in front of us. Go ahead and pick up your handout here. Who can tell me what the fiber rule is? Come on, go ahead.
Oh, the fiber rule?
Fiber rule.
Oh.
Keeps you full, keeps blood sugar stable.
Well, that's, yes, I'm sorry. Here you go. Okay. The fiber rule is for every 50 calories, you want at least 1 gram of fiber. That is real important. So, you want to meet the fiber rule when you're eating carbohydrates. So, obviously, proteins are not affected by this, but carbs, for every 50 calories. So, somebody look on your labels that are sitting there in front of us. How about that fiber 1? How many grams of fiber are there in one serving?
14.
And how many calories?
60.
Okay. And so, does that meet the fiber rule?
Yeah.
Absolutely. That one goes way above and beyond. Also, as you eat higher fiber foods, however many grams of fiber are in something, you can subtract the carbohydrates from your total number, your total carbs. So if it has, say, 20 carbs and there are 3 grams of fiber, you only have to count those carbs as 17. Does that make sense? Because the fiber is going to help you that much. It makes a huge difference. Okay? Who else wants to? Pardon me? Oh my goodness. It is in my notebook in the other room. I'm sorry. How about another carbohydrate food? How about another cereal? Any of the boxes that are laying around there? Anything that's not fiber 1. Because we know they meet the fiber rule.
Any weeks, 200 calories, 6 grams fiber.
Okay, does that meet the carbohydrate rule?
I think it does.
For the higher math in here, it does. Okay. How about another food? How about the protein bars?
Oh, here.
Don't be afraid, it's
Pure
not going to
Fit
burn.
Nutrition bar. Let's see
There you
here.
go. That Pure Fit.
It's got 24 carbs and 3 fiber.
24 carbs and 3
So
fiber.
21 grams. How many calories?
Yep.
220.
Does not need it.
No.
Sorry, y'all. Yes, let's just do that for now, and I'll get it for the next one. I didn't think of that.
Thank you.
It's okay.
1 gram of fiber.
Okay, for every 50 calories, how many calories are in that?
220.
Okay, and how many grams of fiber?
3.
3. So does that meet the fiber rule?
No. It's all fiber.
It is. So those are not ones I would recommend. How about the Nature Valley protein bar?
It has 190 calories and 5 grams of fiber.
So that one meets the fiber rule. So I recommend those. Plus the calorie difference, how many calories are in the
220.
220?
What is that?
Calories have 190.
190.
So,
So, yeah. Okay, you were holding up the peanut butter?
2 grams of fiber and 190 calories. Does that mean we can't eat peanut butter?
No. Peanut butter, it is not figured for the carbohydrates. Peanut butter is figured, it is a fat. How many grams of fat does it have?
That.
It's a good fat.
16 grams?
There you go. So, along that same line, if it is a fat, that fat number is going to be higher than other numbers and the calories. And so, that one is a healthy fat, and so we don't worry about the fiber rule with that. Does that make sense? And peanut butters can keep you full for a long period of time. It does so much good. I put it in my oatmeal in the morning, my almond butter, and it's so good. So, okay, what are some other labels? How many people in here like protein powder? Anybody? Okay. This one, you can buy at Kroger's, and I'm not trying to sell any particular brand, but something I want you to know when you're picking out, because there are so many, it's really confusing, isn't it? It's overwhelming. Number one, I look for whey protein. Okay, that's the protein that is in milk, in dairy products. It is a cold processed, cross-flow, microfiltered whey protein. But this one, and I'm trying to tell you exactly what it was, that cold processed cross-flow is supposed to be very good for protein, for whey protein. I have not seen the process myself, but I have read that it is important to have that. And it is a denatured protein. So that is a good thing. So that's why I just wanted to.
So you mix that in water?
You can mix this in water, you can mix it in coconut milk, you can mix it in oatmeal to increase your protein content of your breakfast. There are all sorts of ways you can use it. You can make a protein drink with some fruit. Mixing it yourself, you can make it very healthy. Do not go down here and buy the protein shake at one of the fast food drive-thru places. They are going to be loaded with sugar. So this way you can control what sugar goes in it. And this particular one, it has, I don't think it has any sugar in it. This one's just protein. It does have vanilla flavoring to it. You can add, it says all natural, there is no sugar. It's made with stevia. And stevia is one of those that you can have. Splenda is another. Those are two good if you're trying for an alternate to sugar. If you really want to sweeten, those are two that I recommend. So, okay, how about other labels? Up here on the board they have the Chobani yogurt, and it's not necessarily this brand, it's just a Greek yogurt. And so this one has 18 grams of protein, and 7 sugars, because that is the plain. Now when you add the fruit into, or buy it with the fruit already in it, I don't think this is, no, that's not it. Anyway, it jumps it way up to like 18 grams of carbs. And you end up getting more carbs than you do protein. And it becomes a carbohydrate food rather than a protein food. Does that make sense? Because you're adding all this sugar, it becomes a different kind of food. It is not a protein. So you go with the largest number on the label. Does that make sense? Okay, these up here, this one is 190 calories, 16 grams of fat, 8 grams of carbs, 2 grams of fiber, 3 sugars, protein. When you're reading a label, you really want to look, like we said, the calories, the serving size. Up here it's 2 tablespoons, so this is probably a peanut butter. I wish they had put that on here. It does have 18 grams of fat, so it's probably a nut butter of some sort, probably peanut butter, made from peanut, sugar, palm oil. So, yeah, this is peanut butter. The sodium is 80 grams, carbohydrates. It does have a little bit of carb in it, and it does have a little bit of sugar, and it has a little bit of fiber.
Sodium comes from the preservative, right?
It does. It does. So, okay. Now, of these 3 foods here, they all have protein, but these are 3 different kinds of food. The first one is considered a fat. The next one is considered a protein, and the Greek yogurt with fruit is considered a carbohydrate because of the sugar that has been added to it. So does that make sense? Okay, where would your bread go? What column would bread go under? Carbs. Okay, what about your cereal? Probably a carb. There are cereals now, and some of them that are back here on the tables have protein added to them. The Kashi cereal, you can now get Kashi that has as much protein as an egg. It says that on the box, and it tastes pretty good. And if you add that to the Greek yogurt, then you're really going to increase that protein. And the protein and the fat combined will help you stay full for a longer period of time. So I don't like to be hungry. I don't know about y'all. I don't know many people that want to be hungry. So eat foods that are healthy, that are going to keep us full for a long period of time. So I don't eat the cereal just by itself very often. Occasionally I will, but if I'm worried about staying full, like I'm working today, I don't want to be going in the kitchen snacking, mostly because we can't. So I will definitely have a good protein in my breakfast, and just the cereal is not enough to provide that. So, okay, what other labels are out there? Who has some other labels?
Oatmeal,
Okay, and what's oatmeal?
a carb.
It is a carb. What else can you add to oatmeal to make it besides yogurt, because I just gave you that? What? Whey. You can add the whey protein. Chia seeds, that's great. Now, how many people in here know about chia seeds? Okay, chia seeds are something that have protein and fiber. They're just little black seeds. They come in just usually a little bag. And, I get them at Trader Joe's, and you can add them to anything. They don't have a flavor. They just mix in. I add them to my oatmeal in the morning. It increases the protein, it increases the fiber, and it doesn't affect the flavor. So what else do you put in your oatmeal? Fruit. Yum. Bananas and pecans sound good.
Bananas are carb.
Bananas are a carb. All fruit is a carb. They all have sugar. There is natural sugar in fruit. Bananas have more sugar than some of the others, but I'm not going to tell you not to eat them. Bananas are good for us, high in potassium. You can put blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, any kind of fruit in them. And I like that better than I do the dried fruit because it's the lower sugar. Raisins are usually, you pull them out and they taste really yummy, especially when they're covered in sugar. So, okay. I don't like these labels that I don't know what it is. Sorry, that's why. Okay, that's probably what it is. Okay, what would tuna fish be?
Protein.
It would definitely be a protein. How about Cheerios?
Carb.
How about the vitamin water?
Carb.
No, it doesn't.
It, hopefully vitamin water, and I think
It's
this
got the
is,
0 on there, it says 0 calories.
yeah, it's a 0.
0 fat, 0 sodium.
Okay, this is one of the drinks. It's probably the other one that was in the picture. 180 calories, 45 grams of carb, 45 sugars.
Yeah.
45 grams.
That's
So-
that fuse drink,
That's the,
Yeah.
you're right, that's the fuse.
Yeah.
So obviously that is not one that I recommend. So here's another 8 ounce. This is probably the vitamin water, 0 fat, 0 calories.
It's all zeros.
So,
It's the top.
and it is loaded with vitamins. Vitamin C, 100%.
and so would
B vitamins, anyway, so that vitamin water, and some of them, I'm not crazy about the flavor, but some of them are real good. The one that's a lemonade,
I love that one squeezed.
yeah. Then this one is 110 calories, 1 gram of fat, sodium is 199, carbs 23.3, 1.2 grams of fiber, 12 grams of sugar, and 2 protein. So what is that one? Y'all have the pictures?
Is it the cottage cheese?
And
Sounds
that's
like
really
it.
not high enough in protein to be the cottage cheese. That's only 2
Maybe it's that
grams.
chicken, that causes
So,
chicken.
I think that's probably a
What's the
different
sodium?
page.
Sodium 199.
Okay.
Oh, it's gotta be the
Can't be the
bloated.
french fries. More than that, I think.
French fries
Tyson.
are just loaded.
Or the French fries, yeah, because it's a
French
lot of
French
sodium.
fries are pretty loaded.
Yeah, the breaded chicken's got a lot of
Okay,
sodium in it.
how about, yeah, breaded chicken. Actually, the breaded chicken is another great example of a food that could be a protein or a carb.
Yeah.
When you bread the chicken and fry it, it becomes a carb.
Mhm.
And whether you fry it or not, when it's breaded, it's a breaded product. So the carbohydrate increases tremendously, whereas if you just grill a plain chicken breast, it is fabulous for us, and it's only like 120 calories, and it's all protein.
What about the difference in the breading, like panko or breadcrumbs or flour and buttermilk or?
Panko is better. And you can control how much goes on if you do it at home and if you put it in the oven as opposed to the fryer. But, so panko would be the best way. Dip it in some eggs and then dip it in the panko crumbs. So that's better than like the
Deep fry.
flour.
Than Crisco.
Definitely better than Crisco. The beans up here. Black beans and French style green beans. What are these?
Protein.
Well, the black beans would be protein, but they also have a lot of carb. There's a can of black beans.
How many carbs they got in
23 carbs,
And how many protein?
8 grams.
Correct. So, obviously, you're reading it, sorry. So it is still a carbohydrate food that it's a good complex carbohydrate. How many grams of fiber? 7. And how many calories?
110.
Okay, so does it meet the fiber rule? Yes, tremendously. So these are both carbohydrate foods. This one is loaded with fiber. Both of them are good for you, and they're both good choices. If somebody is watching their sodium content, I recommend that you rinse them before you eat them. Just pour the water off of them that's in the can and then rinse them. And obviously green beans only have about 25 calories a serving. So if you don't add bacon to them and everything that we do.
Bacon's protein, right?
Oh, well,
It makes-
my son would like to say so. Okay. Bacon is a fat, just like peanut butter is a fat, except peanut butter is good fat and bacon is not. Bacon is a saturated fat, and it's not what we want to load up on. I'm not going to tell you I don't eat bacon, because I do now and then. I had a BLT last weekend, and it was so yummy. It's my one for the year. But, okay, so what other foods are out here on the table?
Coconut milk,
What's coconut milk have in it?
as far as what?
Protein,
Well, carbs, it has one.
one carb, wow, that's a whole lot less than the cow's milk.
And 45 calories,
That's less than the cow's milk too. How much protein?
one gram.
That's
So
unsweetened. There's also sweetened, but it's hard to pick up the difference when you start looking at the store.
you're exactly right, but that's why reading these labels is so important.
So this is
Because
takes it off, right?
you can get like the yogurt, one that's a protein and one that's a carb. With this milk, you can have a lot of calories, a lot of empty calories, just like if you're drinking a, a soft drink or something like that. That Foos drink that was on here. So does anybody in here know of a good drink that you like that is 0 calories? Yes.
Water.
There you go. Water's the best. And there are some flavors if you want to add flavoring to it. Another thing that is good on everything that is just negligible in calories, you don't have to put it down anywhere, is cinnamon. It's really good for us.
Helps
And
control your blood sugar.
it
too.
does help control blood sugar. So I put it on my oatmeal. My oatmeal has everything. So, any questions? Is there anything else on your sheets or on the boxes that are laying around? What about crackers? Are there some crackers out there?
Yeah, there's some wheat thins.
Okay, tell us about the wheat thins.
Wheat thins, 130 calories in a 16-piece serving.
Uh-huh.
2 grams of fiber, so it's a little bit low on that. 2 grams of protein, 3.5 grams of fat.
Okay. Okay. So you get 16 wheat thins. That's not bad if you put cheese on it, huh? Just, what kind of cheese do you want?
Good cheese.
Cabot, 75% skim.
There you go.
My favorite cheese of all.
Tell them again what it is.
Cabot brands, which is now available in a lot of the local big grocery chains, makes a 50% skim and a 75% skim cheddar.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And it tastes good.
It does.
Yeah.
It
Good.
tastes like.
Tastes like cheese.
No, it tastes pretty good, really. It's got a good flavor to it.
Even the 75% skim is pretty good.
They've got cheddar, they've got.
And it still melts, like some of those.
Some of them won't even
ones
melt.
which are real high protein don't melt, they'll still
That's
melt.
right. Good.
Whereas some of those.
Good. Does anybody have any other food that they have discovered recently that is just wow, just like tastes great and really healthy for you?
Coffee.
Coffee.
That's mine.
Costco and Sam's have a cracker called Crunch Master.
Uh-huh.
It's 1 carb for like 3 to 4 crackers. Everybody's having one.
Crunch Master. Huh. That's
what
good
we
to
made
know.
chicken salad with avocado instead of mayonnaise last week, and it was really good. That was good.
Absolutely. Yes.
Carrie went home and made it for her kid.
Oh, that's my thought.
It was gonna say. not good.
Yeah. Yeah. Carrie's gonna have fun trying to get her daughter to eat that.
I don't eat tilapia, I think I'm doing pretty good.
That's fabulous. Okay. Are you all grilling a lot this summer in between the rain showers? Grilled without breading, whether it's chicken or fish? What? It's good, yes. Okay. Any questions? Anything else y'all want to talk about? All righty. Well, that's it for me. Yes, Ian.
So everything boils down to fat, carbs, and protein. Is there a general rule, a ratio, or something that you should look for as a balanced diet? 1/3, 1/3, 1/3, or?
Not 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. There are different schools of thought, and some people are going more towards the high protein and the low carb. It used to be 50% carb, 30% protein, 20% fat as a general rule. There are a lot of people who think that that's way too much carb. You know.
Carbs are high in calories, right? Just generally speaking.
Well, fats are the highest in calories. Protein and carbs, really per gram, have the same amount of calories. But the fat is what has more calories than anything else.
So the trick is doing the weight loss and still getting the fats.
You want healthy fats,
Yeah.
definitely. So I don't really have a particular formula. This is exactly because one size doesn't fit everybody. So, and if somebody's on a low-fat diet because they have a terrible family history, then I'm not going to tell them to eat a high-fat, high-protein, because with high protein generally comes more fat. Not always, but it's harder to get just lean protein and not do the carbs or the fat. So,
You said, Kathleen, about you deduct the fiber from the carbs, or just carbs from the fiber?
the fiber from the carbs. So, however many grams of fiber there are, subtract that from the total number of carbs.
Okay, and that'll give you the accurate.
Correct. And fiber, as a general rule, 25 to 35 grams of fiber per day. And for men, about, Ian, this might answer the question a little better, 20 to 25 grams of protein per meal for women, and about 35 for men per meal. Protein.
Per meal.
Per meal, yes.
And then 25 to 35 are per day.
25 to 30 grams of protein, and the fiber, yes, 25 to 35 for everybody.
Yeah, and then the carbs, we really don't even want to have any goals.
Keep them low.
Yeah, keep them low,
Yeah.
that's right. So, and be sure they're good complex carbohydrates when you eat them.
That is hopefully.
So, thank y'all.
Thank you.